gyms. Welcome back to Gym Talk. I am coming at you guys with my pajamas on. I made an observation today. I took some notes because I like when I take notes. It helps me stay on track with what I'm talking about. Um, and honestly, I think that today's episode is going to be one of my favorites. Um, and that's because it came from a real life observation. If you are new to my content or my style of teaching, I am obsessed with neuroscience and psychology. And if you're one of my mentees watching this, something that you have to know is that I am constantly looking at your patterns and your behaviors because ultimately that's going to help you with your cognitive behavior, cognitive dissonance, like anything that you have behavioral wise, because once you can understand your behavior and start to observe yourself, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how to do that at the end of this video. Once you can start being the observer and the observed, the things around you no longer have control over you, and then you have control over it. So this started today when I was at the gym with my son. And oh my God, sorry, my dryer buzzed. But this started today when I was at the gym with my son. And I hadn't eaten yet, so I was, like, feeling kinda lightheaded, so I ended my workout early, and my son likes to go into the part of the gym and play basketball, and, like, sometimes there'll be strangers in and out, and, it's on a Sunday, so, of course, everybody and their grandma's in and out of that gym. Not a lot of people are working out, but a lot of people are just in and out of the gym part of, like, the basketball part of the gym is what I'm saying. So, there was, an older guy. So in this gym, and if you go to the gyms that have like a indoor basketball court, it's a full court. On one side of the court, there was this girl like shooting with her dad or father figure, whomever. And then there were two girls in the middle of the court. They were twirling baton and they had like their coach or teacher, whomever, instructor sitting on like a little fold out chair in front of them, like instructing them. And then there was my son in there at first by himself, and then he was at the other half of the court. So as I'm sitting there watching him, this other guy comes in. He had to be like maybe in his mid-20s, I want to say. And he comes in and he's shooting the ball in the goal. And then my son is shooting the ball in the goal. And they're just kind of taking turns just shooting. Wasn't anything like crazy. Then a dad and a son came in. You guys, and like I'm such a nerd. I will nerd out and like watch people's behaviors and their patterns because this is how communities are formed. And like there's just different types of psychology that's playing out right in front of me. And they're just shooting around. But I wanted to watch and sit and observe their patterns. Normally, like if I'm in there watching my son, like I might respond back to you guys. I might look at client emails. I might go through comments on TikTok because I do like to answer you guys's comments on TikTok through YouTube now. And so normally that's what I would be doing. But today I was like, I feel like people watching and observing and like putting my, nerd psychology hat on. So that's what I did. The older guy that was in there with my son at first. So let me backtrack. So there was my son, there was the mid-20s guy, and then the guy and his son came in. Okay. So the guy and his son came in. They were like, he would pass his son the ball. He was mostly like paying attention to his son, as he should. Was like kind of playing with his son and trying to get his son's form and structure. And his son had to be maybe 13, 14 years old. My son is 13. So they were about around the same age. And he was helping him. And then all of a sudden, like my son was shooting the ball. And so he would throw the ball back to him. Like, it would bounce off the goal, he'd throw it back. You might say, well, Niecy, that's a courtesy. It's human behavior and pattern recognition. Follow me. As he's starting to do that, at first, my son was like running after the ball. But then he noticed if I shoot the ball, this gentleman is going to stand there and he's going to throw the ball back to me each and every single time. And I took notes on what all I observed so I don't forget. So I watched the older guy, the guy in his 20s. He didn't expect help and automatically retrieved his own ball every single time. So when he would shoot the ball, if it would, bounce off the goal or go in, he had no expectation of the dad throwing him the ball back. He would literally run and go grab the ball. Or like because I was sitting on the floor on like court side. And if the ball came near me, he would try so hard to like run and grab it. I would go and like, move it or bounce it or give it to him or whatever. I watched the dad also throw the ball firmer to the boys, my son and his son, and then gentler to the young man. And consistently enough that the kids eventually started to expect this behavior. I also observed the two girls in the gym that were twirling their batons and immediately became aware of when the boys entered the space, it's not, I don't want to call them insecure, but like, it's just psychology, it's just human behavior. Like their patterns of the way that they were practicing, they almost got like tense, not because they were threatened or anything, but because now they're observing, oh, there's teenage boys in here, kind of like how when you're a girl, you're like, oh, let me switch my stature. Do I look stupid? Like the things that teenagers would think. Every single person was playing a role that they didn't even realize they were playing. The dad, I noticed him being more firm, more structured, standing underneath the goal, not moving, just throwing the balls back to everybody. And when he would throw the ball to his son, he would pass it firm. When he would throw it to my son, he would pass it firm. When he would throw it to like the mid 20-year-old, he would just kind of gently toss it. And the way his demeanor and structure was made me see him as like an authoritative figure, almost like he might have been like, you know, in the military or law enforcement of some sort because of the way that he carried himself. Mind you, I am from a very, 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 very large military family, so I know exactly what that looks like. My dad is a retired Marine vet. My uncle is a Marine vet. My grandpa's a World War II vet. My uncle's a Vietnam vet. My dad's a Desert Storm vet. So, like, I know that stance. I know that look. I know that formation and structure. Okay. And so, every single person in that gym was playing a role that they didn't realize that they were playing. We do this all day, every single day. I also have a mentee, if you're watching this. Hi. Love her to bits. She can become emotionally dysregulated when she feels threatened. If she feels like she's doing something wrong, she almost goes straight into defense mechanism. She goes straight into defensiveness. And not because she's angry at me, but because she thinks that I think she did something wrong and I don't. You can only see the world through your lens, and you're reading text messages from me with your lens. You are looking at behaviors in other people through your lens, right? Like I'm looking at these people in the gym's behavior through my lens. I'm studying psychology and neuroscience. So, of course, I am nitpicking apart everybody's freaking behavior. Sometimes it drives me nuts because I am just not capable of you coming to me and be like, Niecy, I want to manifest a relationship. I want to manifest $50,000 a month, and me not look at your behaviors. It's just like that client that I had to end her mentorship who owed me money because she has an extreme avoidant personality to the point to where it will be her detriment if she doesn't get a wrangle on that. Okay. So here's the identity reveal. Humans don't act based on who they think they are. They act based on patterns they've rehearsed for years. Everything is a pattern recognition to humans. We are creatures of habit. So, like, your morning routine will look differently than mine. I am a single mom, so I wake up in the mornings and I immediately have to go and wake my son up. While he's getting ready, I then go into meditation. My phone stays on do not disturb until about 10 a.m. Sometimes I take it off early, but I like to have slow, intentional mornings. It's imperative to how I start my day. You might wake up and immediately check your phone. I do not recommend this. Neither does Dr. Joe Dispenza, but whatever. We're creatures of habit. So You're acting based off of the patterns that you've created and done for years, okay? My son didn't even start saying thank you every single time the ball was passed to him, but once he saw someone else modeling that behavior, he picked it up instantly, okay? The older guy didn't expect help because somewhere in life he had to learn handle it yourself. Your this is so goddamn funny. Your behavior reveals so much about you, and people don't even recognize it. We will get like these social cues depending on where you are with your cognitive behavior. Um, and some of us are on the spectrum of some sort. So I get that. Like that's going to look different based off of who I'm dealing with and who I'm speaking with. Um, but you learn this. That guy, each and every single time, repeatedly tried to go and get the ball himself, even though the dad was clearly standing there. The dad was clearly throwing the balls back to the boys. I can't talk tonight. And it didn't matter to him. And then every time the ball would pass over to me or like almost hit me and I would have to throw it back, he would instantly apologize. He'd be like, oh, sorry, so sorry, so sorry. And I'm like, I'm choosing to sit here. I know that the balls might fly my way. I'm good. But that just showed me that he's learned I have to handle things on my own. And then I have to apologize for inconveniencing people, which then shows me that he thinks that he's inconveniencing me in some way or other people in some way. The dad stood under the hoop, facilitating the flow because he naturally carries the structured energy. The gym shifted when this man came in. And it's almost like you ever hear people say, like, oh, she demands respect when she walks in the room. People treat me this way constantly. I can literally be chilling, not even worry about anything. But the moment I walk into the room, literally all eyes are on me. I walked into the salon the other day just to grab things. I took like the week off and just wanted to focus on school and mentorship. And I'm restructuring my business and like doing things within my mentorship side. So I had dropped in to get some things and everyone turned around and looked at me. Niecy, like the whole salon. I was like, what in the fuck? But that happens consistently. And it's like even more so when my presence isn't felt in the salon every day. Okay. So the dad stood under the hoop, facilitating the flow because he naturally carries structured energy. And none of them planned this. Okay. This is something that just happened. Pattern creates behavior. Behavior creates identity. Identity creates your reality. Dr. Joe Dispenza teaches us that your personality will shape your physical 3D reality. What is shaping your personality? Your fucking behaviors. Your behaviors are shaping your personality. I don't know how many times I have to say this, okay? Your behavior is what's shaping your reality because you're not consistent in whatever it is that you are doing. When I say to build repetition to get what you want, I am in no way, shape, or form talking about robotically affirming. I am talking about your repetitive cognitive behavior every day, okay? Behavior creates identity. The deep moment is if you can step outside of yourself and observe yourself in the way that I observe those other people, in the way that I observe my mentees. And listen, if you're one of my mentees and you're watching this, sometimes I don't respond back to you because you don't need a response, because I need to allow you time to sit with what you just said. And then we can revisit it in a session. And people that are in my mentorship program already know this, especially the ones that are in the 16-week program. They get to text me, so it's more personable. Because listen, I'm not just here to teach you fucking quantum physics. I'm here to teach you how to get out of your own way. And through cognitive behavioral therapy, I like to break down what you're doing so you can stop doing what doesn't serve you. Okay. If you want to change your life, your money, your relationships, your success, you don't change your goals. You change your patterns. Okay. Your patterns are going to reveal how you respond to stress, what you expect from others, what you tolerate, what you recreate, where you limit yourself, where you sabotage, where you abandon yourself, where you rise, and where you lead. When I started doing this, I do what I like to call um, a cognitive audit on myself, where I'm like, okay, this client responded to me in this way, and I felt this. So if I felt this, do I normally feel this way? Where else have I felt this way before in my past? And nothing grinds my gears more than people who come to me saying that they want to change, that they don't want to be a victim of their reality anymore, and then they don't do this. Because I teach you this in your mentorship programs. But if you don't apply it, even for the people who are not maybe in mentorship, but they get the platinum manifestation plans, those are all available on platinumgang.store. Those are for people who want to try to do it on their own without the accountability of mentorship. And I give you like a detailed plan, and some people just do not follow through with it. They just don't, which is why I think that it is so important to have mentorship and to step into that, because then you have someone to sit and hold you accountable that way. But when people don't do these audits on themselves, it literally grinds my gears. Like they're just letting life just happen because they're on autopilot. You have got to make a decision and say, I'm tired of this. Every extreme weight loss story I've ever heard started with someone being like, I got tired of being fat. I got tired of being overweight. I got tired of living my life like this. I got tired of not being a hands-on parent. I got tired of not being able to play with my kids. I got tired of not being able to fit in clothes. I got tired of not being able to go on girls' trip, whatever. They got tired of their shit. You have got to get to a point to where you are tired of your own shit. Get tired of it. Get tired of your own shit and start to do a cognitive audit on yourself and look at where you're sabotaging. This is how you're going to do this. And I need you guys to pause this video, get some paper, write this down, get out your iPhone, whatever, your notes, whatever. Okay. Pick one situation each day to observe yourself from the outside. You're not going to judge. You're not going to criticize. You're just going to observe it. My mom came in and told me X, Y, and Z, and it set me the fuck off. Observe that. Pick one situation each day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, something, just pick it, observe it. Even if it's not anything bad. My boyfriend brought me a coffee and this made me feel blank. Let your brain fill in the blank. Pretend you are watching a character in a movie. Ask, what is she doing? What pattern is she repeating? What emotion is driving this behavior? So for those of you that might want to send long paragraphs, get the last word in. For the people who feel like being right is the best way to go. Why do you feel like that? What is she doing? What's driving that behavior? What pattern is he repeating? Look for micro patterns, not big ones. This is number 3. Look for micro patterns, not big ones. The small things show you the truth. Do you hesitate before answering messages? I do. I don't hesitate. I observe the message because I will break down your text messages and decipher it. Unless you're texting me for a hair appointment, there's nothing to break down. You just want a damn hair appointment. But when I get people who send me long paragraphs of emotional monologues, I'm just like, you feel the need to overly explain yourself for what? Like I have a best friend, she was getting ready to quit her job. She wanted to send in a 2-week resignation letter. And she was like, well, I'm going to tell them that it's because blah, blah. You don't have to tell these people a fucking reason. You don't owe anybody an explanation. This is what I'm choosing for myself, and that's it. And some people might think that that's dry, but again, you're looking at it from your own lens. Okay. Look for the micro patterns, not the big ones. The small things show you the truth. Do you hesitate before answering messages? Do you soften your tone around certain people? I have to adjust my tone around certain people, especially with my mentees, because some of them are more emotional than others. And they will get downright defensive. Here is the key point with me, though. I have to walk a very thin line because I can't teach their nervous system certain things. And so I have to be very, very, very careful and selective with how I respond to certain people's messages, because ultimately my goal is to get them out of their own way. But do you soften your tone around certain people? Do you rush when you feel unworthy? Do you over explain when anxious? Do you rescue people emotionally? I was horrible at rescuing people emotionally because as a child, I was taught this. I did not have an emotionally available mother, and my dad worked a lot. So he loved me to bits and pieces, still does, but he wasn't emotionally available either. So I had to teach myself how to be emotionally regulated. But I would get certain cues from my mother. Is my mom angry? Like, I would even pay attention to how she came in the house. If she threw her keys down, okay, let me go upstairs in my room. Like, I would immediately go upstairs to my room because my heart would just sink to my ass. Like, I would be sitting in the living room. I'm a last of the latchkey kids. I would be sitting in the living room, like watching TV or doing homework. And the moment I would hear her car come to the driveway, I would literally break my damn neck to get up the stairs if I didn't have my baby sisters and was taking care of them. Okay. Number 4, ask, where did I learn this? Just like I just gave you an example, I learned this because of my mom's behaviors. This identity is gold. When you learn where it came from, then it no longer controls you. Okay. And finally, does this pattern belong to the version of me that I am becoming? 9 times out of 10, hell no, it ain't. But if it doesn't, release it. This is literally how the timelines will begin to shift because what controls you no longer controls you the moment you recognize it and you observe it. Now you're observing it, so it can no longer control you. It literally cannot. Okay. It's just so crazy to me, too, how like some people have been in my mentorship for a while and some of them still don't take it to consideration. Like, she's going to nitpick this message apart. But it's okay. It's okay, right? Because like I'm here to gently call out and do this cognitive audit with you. But I had to like make a quick little episode about this. And if you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. I just find human behavior and pattern recognition so fascinating. And that is what makes me so different as a mentor. I want to recognize these patterns and help you recognize these patterns so you can stop them. Manifestation is just not like this woo-woo shit. It's something that you are designed to do. And you are manipulating energy through the quantum field, through quantum physics. And your identity, who you're choosing to identify as, is what's shaping your physical 3D reality. So in order to shift your identity and believe something else new about yourself, we have to uncover these limiting beliefs and these feelings of being inadequate because they're not true. You're just looking at it through this rose colored filter, if you will. But so, yeah, today I watched strangers in the gym and I became observant and I saw them form a little micro society without even saying a word to each other. It was actually super fascinating. But I love blending psychology, manifestation, and identity work. And if you want more of this, let me know. Drop some comments and let me know what else you guys want me to discuss. I am transitioning a lot because as I grow and evolve, my business structure will grow and evolve. The way that I mentor, the way that I teach, the way that I share things will grow, change, and evolve. And I just really appreciate you guys growing and evolving with me. You guys, new colors for the t-shirts dropped. You can check those out at platinumganglifestyle.com. I have some more designs coming up. I cannot wait to drop those next week, so be on the lookout for that. If you're interested in mentorship, I have 2 spots available depending on what tier you want to be at. There's no tiers for the third one. There's no openings for the third tier, excuse me, got tongue tied, but there are openings for the smaller tiers. If you're interested in that, you can head over to platinumgang.store and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.